We got breaking news in the golf world where Will Zalatoris has withdrawn from this weekend's Tour Championship at Eastlake because of a lingering back injury, taking him out of contention for the FedEx Cup title. His agent released a statement saying Zalatoris is dealing with two herniated discs in his back. That injury will also take him out of the Presidents Cup next week. Zalatoris was coming off that first PGA Tour victory when he withdrew from the BMW Championship after playing just 4 holes on Saturday. Taking a look, of course, at that statement released by his manager, Alan Hobbs, paraphrasing here. At second to last line, he is also very disappointed that he would not have the opportunity to play at next month's President Cup, where he was hoping to play for Captain Love and represent the United States. Will like to thank his fans, supporters, the tour, and his team for all their support. He is fully focused on getting healthy and back onto the course as soon as he is able. Taking a look at, of course, the standings and how it was hopefully going to shake out for him there. He was at number 1 before last week. Just mentioned that he had to WD there at the BMW, sitting third at 7 under, 3 shots back from Scotty Scheffler, back on top at 10 under there, Patrick Cantlay. By the way, just a reminder, despite him WDing, that does not elevate or benefit anybody below him. For example, Xander Schauffele or Sam Burns, they cannot jump up or gain a stroke. The standings will stay this way as we head into Eastlake there for the finale for the playoffs. I want to bring in our Mark Immelman and also Kyle Porter on this breaking news here. Mark, I'll start with you because we talked about this possible back injury affecting him heading into Eastlake. Now we know he will not be able to play, not just this weekend, but also in the future when it comes to the Presidents Cup. Your reaction to that news day with Will Zalatoris?
Well, I'm saddened. Herniated discs for anyone are rough, but herniated discs for a golfer, especially in the lower back, are just debilitating, honestly, because the nerve pain that refers from there is crazy. And as you and I had talked about, he's such a great ball striker, and everyone talks about that sort of a thing. But with the side bend and the forward bend and the velocity he creates through the golf ball, it puts a lot of stress on that area. And we've seen him struggle with this issue before. And it's just horrendous for any sort of athlete to go through. And I'm really concerned for what the future holds, because that's a very tender area. And I can't see Will at a very young age changing golf swing technique or anything right now. So right now I thought it was maybe some impingement after we chatted last, but herniated discs are just not a good thing. And I'm concerned for his well-being, but I'm certain he'll be under the care of some expert doctors and physicians.
Yeah, I think it's also unfortunate just for where he's at in his career, coming off his first win at Memphis at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. And, you know, Brandon, he's made a lot of money in his career, even though he's still very young. He's made $12 million. But as we know, the first prize payout this week is $18 million. So he has a chance to nearly triple his career earnings and start at a really good spot to do it. It creates it's a benefit, honestly, for the guys that are ahead of him. Scotty Scheffler and Patrick Cantlay, because now it's just one less guy to deal with. And I think, you know, the bigger picture, Will was part of this group that met at the BMW Championship last week, the kind of future of the PGA Tour. And he's one of the guys that I think everybody in that group was rooting for to win the Tour Championship. You don't want, if you're that group, you don't want somebody like a Cam Smith jumping up, winning the Tour Championship, potentially leaving for Live Golf the following week. And Zalatoris was one of the, 4 guys that was ahead of Cam Smith at the Tour Championship in these standings. That's not the biggest deal in the world, but it certainly plays into kind of the micro level if we're looking at just this week at the Tour Championship.
Mark, you mentioned there, of course, the back is one thing that you don't want to see with any golfer there. And for Zalatoris, he was trending up after that first win. He's always been there when it comes to majors or just tournaments in general, getting close and finally getting that first win. But if we're looking at the Presidents Cup, how does that impact them losing maybe one of the younger trending stars here?
I think it's a massive impact on Captain Love's team. Look, the truth about Will Zalatoris is he is one of the foremost guys on that team right now. Scheffler is obviously there, Jordan Spieth, and some of the great match players. But Will Zalatoris is kind of a lightning rod. You know, he's easy to get along with in the locker room. He's a wonderful player. He makes a lot of birdies, so it'd be awesome in the 4-ball, the best ball format. And he's just easily pairable and a likable guy. So I think as far as the team chemistry goes, it'll dent what's going on. But that being said, from Captain Love's point of view, this is what sport's about. Sport is real, injuries happen, and you don't wish injuries on your worst enemy. But these are the things that golfers have to deal with, and you have to be adaptable, and you have to be able to react. And Captain Love, I'm certain, will quickly make adjustments. He'll work on potentially different pairings, because I'm sure he had certain guys earmarked for each other. So there's a lot to change, but I'm certain they're in front of this. It's just disappointing, obviously, for the entire American team and their fans. One of the great golfers in the game right now is not going to play.
Yeah, I think what's interesting about the President's Cup is that the team, as it was going to be constructed, was very straightforward. It was very obvious that the top 12 guys in the standings were going to be the 12 that were on the team. That's not always the case when you have captain's picks. Sometimes you reach outside of that top 12 to bring in a captain's pick, but that wasn't going to be the case this year. It was a very clear-cut top 12. These are the guys that are going, and now it's not clear-cut. Who are you going to replace somebody like, who are you going to replace Will Zalatoris with? Do you go just beyond that top 12 and take a Tom Hoagie, a Kevin Kisner, or do you go a little deeper and take somebody that's younger and a potential star like a Sahith Theegala or a Davis Riley? I think that part of kind of who they fill that spot with, because there aren't any, I don't think, real obvious choices. I think that part of it is going to be interesting.
Interesting to see how that pans out. As Mark, you mentioned there, he's a lightning rod. Talking about Zalatoris, of course. Now we're down from 30 to 29 players this week at the Tour Championship. And Mark, Erin Wise is going to have to play by himself. What is that like for him entering this week here, along with others, knowing that there's an odd number of players here?
Well, he's played this event before, so he understands the nature of it. He understands the golf course. His round will just be a whole lot quicker. And then if he plays very well, which I expect because he is playing well, he won't have to play as a single come Friday morning because they regroup every day according to score. So for Erin, it's just one of those deals. Once again, adaptability is one of the key weapons in a golfer's arsenal. So he'll be ready for this. He'll have the golf course prepared. He and his caddy Brian Dilley will go out there and just do things like they would ordinarily do. He just doesn't have to keep a score for another guy.
Yeah, he doesn't. And we've actually seen guys in the past try to play as quickly as possible at East Lake. I believe it was, I think it was Kevin Na a couple years ago, tried to play this course in like an hour and 40 minutes or an hour and 20, something absurd. I can't remember what the exact number was. So maybe we see that out of Erin Wise. But it does create, seriously, it does create some wiggle room at the top of the board. There's one less elite player to chase down if you are an Erin Wise, if you are somebody that's kind of just beyond the leaders. And for those leaders, Scotty Scheffler and Patrick Cantlay, it creates some breathing room. I think Scheffler is in obviously he's in a good spot. He's leading the golf tournament at 10 under, but he's somebody that's incredibly patient and just kind of takes what the course gives him. He doesn't get out of his world. He hits the shots that are in front of him. And I think this is going to give him even more patience and the ability to let this week come to him and potentially win another 18 mil and what would be for him a $32 million year, the richest ever in PGA Tour history.
Before I let you guys go, knowing that Zalatoris won't be there, and you kind of touched on a little bit, Kyle, there, does this kind of open the doors for a guy like a Xander Schauffele or a Cameron Smith that might be able to trend up now, looking at the top of that board when it comes to the standings this week?
Yeah, I think so. You look at the group at 4 under. I don't know if we can pull it back up, but you've got Cam Smith there. You've got Rory there. You've got some guys that can go out and shoot 64, 65 on any given day. You've got Finau there. I mean, he's another guy that all he's been doing recently is shooting rounds in the 60s. So it does give those guys some freedom to maybe chase a little bit more because you have one fewer guy in front of you that you have to worry about. So it's not, I don't know that guys will be, dancing on the driving range on Tuesday and Wednesday, especially with somebody being hurt, but it certainly affects kind of the tenor of this tournament as we head into what should be a really fun week at East Lake.
I'm with Kyle. Look, golf is about low score and beating your competition, correct? And there was only 30 guys in this field. Now there's 29. So as a player, you have 28 to beat. And Will Zalatoris was certainly going to be one of those, no matter where his starting score was. If he was healthy, he was going to be a factor come Sunday afternoon. So for the folks down and in behind him, it's like, all right, one less guy to knock off. And for the folks who were in front of him, it's one less guy to stay ahead of. And for Cantlay and for Scheffler and those sorts of guys, Will is a player who, when he's in your rearview mirror, you're aware of the fact because he's good. and you know he's not likely to back down. And we've seen him finally sort of thread the needle and finish one off there in Memphis with his first victory. Everyone's expecting him to go from strength to strength now because of the experience. So for those guys, again, like Kyle says, they won't be happy that their friend and teammate is down with herniated discs. But the truth of it is, a big prize, lots of money on offer. It's just one less guy to beat.
If there's a silver lining there for him, he still would get the $500,000 because he would technically finish 30th. The 29, of course, who are actually playing this week, the 72 holes there at East Lake. As always, appreciate it, guys. Mark Immelman, also Kyle Porter on the breaking news. Will Zalatoris having to withdraw from this week from the FedEx Cup finale there when it comes to the playoffs there at East Lake. Will not play, of course, after the back spasms there and injury from the BMW Championship. Just unable to get it done here. But hey, the First Cup podcast, the guys will probably have emergency pod here. Will Zalatoris, his first PGA Tour win. They're not able to play the last two events here. Download and give the guys a follow. Everything you need on the greens.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.